In the last episode of Weird World Explorer, I visited a couple of sites that were affected by the secret war on Laos. If you haven't seen part 1 of my visit to Laos, please do so before watching this video. After visiting Phon Savan, I decided to travel to Sam Nua. Sam Nua is the least visited capital city in Laos, but this region held a very important role during the war. It was here that the communist leaders of the Pathet Lao hid from attacks and plotted their takeover of the country. I'm on my way to Sam Nua because the buses going up are known to be really windy, and the locals tend to get motion sickness and they end up just like vomiting for about 10 hours. I decided that would be my idea of hell. I hired a private car for the journey up. It ended up being very expensive comparatively, about $150 US, which still is really good. But I'll be there hopefully a little quicker and get to see some cool things on the way, and will not have to worry about people throwing up. So I think this was a good idea. My first stop was to a tribal community known as Tojok by locals, but Bam Village by tourists. This area is home to the Hmong tribe. The Hmong, as I mentioned earlier, were hired by the US to fight against the communist forces in Laos. When communism ultimately won and took over the country, the Hmong were labeled as traitors. Many of them defected to Thailand to escape punishment. Others decided to adapt to communism, and some escaped into the jungle of Laos. To this day, there are still groups of Hmong who refused communism and instead eke out a hard life on the run from the government. For those people, the secret war has never ended. The residents of Bam Village are Hmong who have adapted to the new government. They have a simple but seemingly happy life there. This village's claim to fame is that the Hmong resourcefully had used bomb fragments to build their homes. Even though the residents had converted to communism long ago, these relics act as a constant reminder of their tribe's involvement in the war. This fence is made entirely out of bombshells. Hmong are supposed to be very tough, resourceful people, which you can kind of see by them repurposing all these bombshells. It's kind of amazing. Now they're kind of like a outcast tribe, and the government doesn't really care for them so much because of what they did in history. My god, it's a monkey. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, get it off. That is one big bull in a very little cage. Oh my god. That is a toilet. Wow. After taking in as much animal cruelty as I could stomach, I decided to move on to my next destination, the Tam Pyu Cave, or as tourists call it, the Rocket Cave. Upon entering this site, you are greeted by a memorial statue and a museum on the atrocities of war. This museum had a collection of broken Buddha statues that were retrieved from the cave, as well as bones and graphic photos. This guy used a rifle to shoot down a plane. Supposedly he shot it down with 3 bullets. So much climbing in this trip of mine yesterday. I climbed up all the way into a mountain for 2 kilometers, and I don't think this one's as bad, but it's also up into a mountain, so my legs have just had it. The story with this cave is that during the Indo-China War, the Viet Cong, like the other caves I've been to, they hid out into the caves to avoid the Hmong, who were a tribe employed by the U.S. So the U.S. hired the Hmong to kill the Viet Cong. The Viet Cong hid in the caves, and the Americans knew that, so they would bomb these areas extensively. This particular cave, however, did not have any Viet Cong in it. It was just civilians. There's something like 500 civilians in the cave. A fighter plane shot a rocket directly into the cave that they were hiding out in, and they all died. Still walking, but it's really catching my attention is there's no one here. There's tourists in Laos, there's a lot of them, but none of them go out to see the history. They just go to the capital, Vientiane, the backpacker hippie place, and they go to Luang Prabang. Nobody really seems to have any interest in the history or even know about it, which is amazing to me, because this is so fascinating. All these things here, I have to watch my step, because these are memorials for the people who died. People put these here, they put incense in them. It's actually kind of difficult to walk through here without hitting them. Okay, so it's hard to focus my camera in here, but this is the main area. Just imagine, like, all those people were in here. This cave is big, so I can imagine that, you know, so many people... another condom. I can imagine, like, so many people were in here. Okay, I'm gonna be brave and go down there. Looks dirty enough. Oh, I found a little surprise here. Look at all those. Someone had a party. Condoms. Lots and lots of condoms. And cigarettes. Shit. There's like... someone had like a little orgy here. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 used condoms all in sight. I'm sure there's probably many more. That's insane. Might be a piece of a Buddha statue. It's actually very illegal to take these out of the country. So I'm going to leave it here, but I put it on that little rock there. It's amazing. I don't know what it's made out of. It looks like it's made out of bone or some sort of like soapstone or something. But really beautiful and tucked away in this little area where kids apparently have a lot of sex. There's this beautiful little thing. But I guess like if you're a teenager and you're living in one of these little villages, it must be very difficult to get some alone time with your girlfriend. So yeah, here's another little spot where people were hanging out. Yeah, I think I can probably get in there further, but at the risk of getting killed, I might not do it, just because it looks like there's no more garbage over here. So it doesn't look like so many people go over here. And these sticks look like they're like holding up that rock or something. I don't know. It's a little sketchy. So I don't know if I can actually get through here equipped the way that I am. But yeah, another condom. Okay, well this was a lot of fun, but I've got a long way to go, so I'm going to leave now and go back. You can see all the dark rock here on the outside. Fairly certain that is from the rocket blast. It turned all of this rock black. Even here you can see it. Imagine like a giant rocket just like flying through there. It must have been some big ass rocket because it killed so many people and marked the entire cave. And as I went in there, like the cave is huge. A lot of places for people to hide out, but none of them were safe from that. It's unbelievable. This place is really beautiful, and nobody comes. Like, no tourists come here. It's not, doesn't make any sense. It's, why am I the only one here? But anyone who might go to Laos, please not get off of the Vientiane Vang Vang Luang Prabang trail and come out here, because this is unbelievable, and you'll have the whole place to yourself, which is actually kind of nice. Back on the road, we next stopped at a small mountain village for lunch. Here I noticed that the spoon I was given was very odd looking. I found out later that these spoons, which you find throughout the entire country, are all produced by the small village of Ban Napia. Ban Napia became well known for creating cutlery out of the melted down bomb fragments that litter the country. Every time I used one of those shoddy looking spoons, it conjured up this beautiful thought of a group of people taking something that was so tragic and finding a way to use that to help rebuild themselves. The roads from here on were extremely treacherous, with huge trucks trying to haul past the car despite steep drops just inches away. Amazingly, I survived to get to yet another tourist site that was completely devoid of tourists. Alright, so I'm walking up to the Salui waterfall, maybe an hour away from Samnua. I've been on the road for about, oh god, I don't even know, like 8 or 9 hours. So at this point I'm like, yeah, it's a waterfall, okay, whatever. But I say that now, but let me see how I feel when I get close up to it. And I'm checking the ground for UXO. I think I'm okay. Looks like a pretty well trodden path. Well, this is extremely dangerous. It's like obviously wet over here because there's a big waterfall, and it's pretty steep. And these are like some candles here and everything, but yeah, just in case I don't make it. Love you guys. You've been great. Thanks for watching. But I think I'm going to try to get up to the top. Wow. And I am officially won over by this waterfall. This is definitely worth the trek up. But I'm not excited about making my way back down. That's not going to be fun. Alright, let's keep going. I made it! Well, I made it at least as far as I'm willing to go. And I must say, that was terrifying. That was a pretty treacherous little adventure up here. But this is pretty amazing. I think that some more nimble people have probably climbed up that wall there. I'm sure there's probably a way to get to the top. I'm sure it's been done. But that's as far as this contortionist is gonna go. Check that out. Top, well, nearly the top of a waterfall. After catching my breath for a minute, I decided against my better judgment to check out the poorly tended trail that continued to the top of the waterfall. I walked up it for a few steps before seeing a tree with a large X painted across it. Fun fact, when you see a red X on a tree in Laos, it usually signals that there was a bomb found in the vicinity of that tree. So I decided to get the hell out of there. Yup. I hope you enjoyed this second installment on my trip to Laos. There should be one final chapter in this trip, my visit to Sam Nua, Vink Se, and the incredible city that was built inside of a cave. Thanks for watching.